As any parent can tell you, the instant a baby enters the world is a memory to be preserved forever in photographs and sometimes on video. But now, new technology has some hospitals rethinking their delivery room policies. WNBC's Darlene Rodriguez has more. Good morning, Darlene.
Good morning, Natalie. Well, when an expectant mother packs her bag to head to the hospital, it's usually filled with pajamas, baby clothes, and a camera or two. But lately, many hospitals have decided that recording in the delivery room is off limits. And if you were prepared to document this special moment in your life, you could be disappointed. It's one of the most precious moments in a couple's life, the birth of a child. Many expectant couples want to capture every detail in pictures and video.
It's really hard to remember a lot of the important moments.
You could hire Julianne Mearschwam, who runs Stork Films, a production company that records all those important birth and baby moments for new parents.
Especially in the beginning of parenthood, it can really help to have videos that truly capture the magic of those moments.
Or like most new parents, you could capture the moment yourself.
There are 4, 5, maybe 6 moments in a lifetime. Maybe it's a moment you say I do after you get married, it's a bar mitzvah or a communion, and it's the first moment you hold your child.
Hi everybody, smile big!
But you might be surprised to learn that this might be a thing of the past.
I'm recording history, I'm making you guys a souvenir. Isn't it great? I got a great shot of the head! I'll give it back!
More and more hospitals around the country have quietly banned cameras in the delivery room, specifically video cameras. Navi and Tamir Schaefer were expecting their first child earlier this summer, and their hospital, Mount Sinai in New York, does not allow video cameras in the delivery room during the actual birth.
As soon as the baby's born, I want to remember my reaction to seeing my child for the first time. I want to remember my husband's reaction. I want to remember the joy.
Dr. Rebecca Brightman is an OB/GYN at Mount Sinai, and she supports the no video policy.
The doctors and the nurses are really focusing on 2 patients, the mom and the baby, and there are times where there are complications that can arise and things are not always as straightforward, and it can really be used in a court of law as evidence and also can be edited.
Supporters of the ban say cameras and the threat of multi-million-dollar lawsuits can force doctors to practice defensive medicine. None of this matters much to Navi and Tamir, who don't want to forget that precious moment.
We just want it for ourselves so that in 15 years from now we can look back and just remember those same emotions we had that same day. I don't want to lose that.
Well, since we first spoke to Tamir and Navi, they had a beautiful baby girl, Leah Gabrielle Schaefer, so congratulations to them. Now, of course, these days, just about every camera, smartphone, and BlackBerry can record video, so it's getting harder to enforce that no video policy. Dr. Brightman says she does allow video recording in the delivery room almost up until the moment of birth and then right afterwards. Now, Mount Sinai Medical Center didn't respond to our inquiry, but expectant mothers should check with their OB/GYN and the hospital so you know the policy beforehand. Natalie.
All right, and Darlene joining us now, Dr. Nancy Snyderman as well to talk about this. I mean, when it comes to it, there is no national standard regarding videotaping births in hospitals,
No, even the,
right?
even the American Academy of Obstetrics and Gynecology, even the American Hospital Association, there is no national standard. This is a per doctor, per hospital decision.
And Darlene, it really is the issue of the malpractice lawsuits that is sort of the dark cloud, which is making a lot of hospitals.
Yeah, look, everyone thinks you get pregnant, you have a perfect 9 months, you go push a baby out, everybody goes home happy. The reality is things can go wrong. And it isn't always the doctor's fault, it isn't always the nurse's fault, but sometimes things can go wrong. But in this contentious society, once something is all documented, it becomes a piece of evidence. And with malpractice prices soaring in this country, and OB/GYNs getting sued more than anyone else, it really is a concern from the physician side of things.
And we found in looking into things for this particular piece that the awards and the settlements are in the millions of dollars. And
Multi-millions.
Absolutely, and you see attorneys advertising on TV if you've had a birth injury or suffered a birth injury. So there's a whole industry out there for this, and doctors are practicing, as we said, defensive medicine.
And we've talked a lot on this program about C-section rates going up.
Exactly.
You know, I just want to remind people, C-sections are not a normal alternative to a normal vaginal birth. But if you think of the things that can go wrong, or things start to look like they're going south in the delivery room, a doctor will err on the side of getting a healthy baby out. Don't for a second fool yourself to think that a litigation isn't in the back of everyone's minds.
Right. I mean, but on the other hand, you could argue, though, if, God forbid, I mean, nobody is in there with the video camera expecting that something's going to go
No.
wrong. You're expecting to have this miracle
Right.
moment, and you want to document that
Right.
on camera. But if, God forbid, something did happen, to have that on camera, isn't that important, though, so that the hospital and the doctors, if there is something that they could have done to prevent that from happening?
Look, if there's true negligence, absolutely.
Right.
But a lot of times we confuse things that just don't go right with a doctor or nurse really
Right.
making an error in judgment. And you know what? I have to come down on the sides of doctors and nurses.
Right.
We expect in this society for everything to be perfect and normal all the time.
Right.
It's easy to get
not always
pregnant.
like that.
It's not sometimes easy
And
to have a
Darlene, there
perfect
is
baby.
now this thing with YouTube. I mean, all of
Absolutely,
these
and
births
people
will
are
go in. There's
tweeting.
privacy issues as well. So
Some of the doctors that we spoke to, and a lot of the hospitals, by the way, around the country that we tried to contact, did not want to go on the record and talk about this at all, whether they were allowing it or
Interesting.
not allowing it. We found it was very difficult to get someone to talk on the record. But yeah, everybody's putting things on Facebook instantaneously, and a lot of staff members in the room don't necessarily want their privacy invaded. But I did hear you say that you had a camera.
I had with my second, and I
And?
watched it, and I love it. I mean, I love that I have that moment, and someday he'll see it.
I
and-
taped it and it's in the basement somewhere in a box.
And you're going to go home and you're going to go home and watch it again and tell me what you think.
Whatever.
I don't know that any child in this country
I know.
would want to see their own birth on video. I just don't know.
Like, Mom, you are out of your
I don't
mind.
know. You know what? When you become a parent, I
We
think
love you because you're a sap.
I am still a sap. Okay. Dr. Nancy Snyder and Darlene Rodriguez, thank you as always. Coming up, the 6-year-old